back with Scott Wise with Scotty's Brewpub, and going to talk about with the Super Bowl. First of all, you're at Muncie now. You're 22 years old, and you want to transform Mugley's, the kind of a famous local landmark, into Scotty's Brewhouse. But how do you get a loan? How do you start out at 22 years old?
Yeah, I think that, you know, well, as earlier I said, I kept running from my last name and my parents and being Jerry's son. I had to embrace it, and I think at that point, what got me into that business, or what actually made it happen, was my parents. I mean, no 22-year-old can find that money. So the original contract that I signed was $65,000. I have the original paper that I signed on paper to the previous owner, and that was really all the financing. Besides that, I think I got a $50,000 line of credit, co-signed by my dad, and used that to buy a lot of paint and supplies to just get us off the ground. And from there, I can remember going to H.H. Gregg and buying freezers to hold more French fries because I couldn't keep up, and it was just one guy that was trying to make something happen and didn't really have a clue what he was doing, but knew he was taking things in the right direction. I'll tell you what I base all my success on, and I would base it back then, are the people that I surround myself with. My COO, Eric Shamp, has been with me from almost day one, and people like that are what make me successful. I think that a lot of times I get a lot more of the glory than I deserve. I'm just one guy helped out by an executive team of great people.
I think at that time, didn't you kind of try to create a village atmosphere along that street with cobblestone?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, my father and mother were very instrumental in doing that. They bought a lot of the buildings down there, and they did cobblestone streets and redid a lot of the building faces and really made it a great village atmosphere. Being from Muncie, I've seen it at its highs and lows. You know, you see businesses come and go, and it's the same today. You see the university actually coming further that direction, but it was a great starting point. Fast forward then into my second restaurant, where I didn't do so well and I lost that $1 million. But after that one, we can skip to restaurant number 3, which is when I opened in Bloomington in 2001. Just celebrated our 10-year anniversary last year. So it's
you have 8 restaurants now, right? Or
9.
Nine?
Opened our 9th on Southport.
South side, yeah.
Yeah, just 2 weeks ago.
Okay, and about 1,000 employees or so. That's not bad for a kid with a lemonade stand.
That's not bad.
And cinnamon toothpicks.
I'll tell you, sometimes I think it's just 1,200 I mean, it made the headaches a little bit more. You know, you got more employees doesn't mean you have more money. It just means you got a lot more work to do.
Yeah, I want to share some pictures from Super Bowl week downtown Indianapolis, which of course was a huge success. So we see part of the excitement down there then.
That's great.
You had a very high profile then as well. Jimmy Fallon's show.
Yeah, got a nice call out from a girl named Jennifer, who actually we named a menu item coming on our new menu here in a month. After her for doing that, because I mean I can't buy that kind of exposure.
Oh, no.
The band actually did even a song to Scotty's, and it's now my ringtone on my phone. Today's show coming in and doing a segment on us was awesome. I got to work out with Jenna Wolfe couple mornings, so it was just I mean, there were times where I got to meet Garth Brooks at an event that we went to that was sponsored by Pepsi. And actually going to the game. I don't think I would ever have an opportunity to go to the game, and I got to take my wife and my parents. So there was a time during the week where I was kind of being shuffled from interview to this to that, and I was trying to make sure the restaurant was running right, and I had to take a breath. I thought, you're going to let all this slip by you, and you're going to end up at the end of the week, and you're going to be so tired and think, what tornado just came through here, and what did I get to experience? So there was a time where I kind of took a breath and actually flipped through some pictures on my phone and said, wow, you just got to meet Garth Brooks, and he was rubbing your pregnant wife's belly at an event with Dallas Clark. And so it was just an awesome, and to see the city in the light that it was shined in. I think people keep asking what were your sales, what they expected, and could you have done more? And I thought, you know what, it's not about my restaurant, it's about the city of Indianapolis. I mean, I wanted to make money. Granted, we worked hard to get to where we were, and we did well. We didn't lose any money. We did 3 times the amount of sales. But I wanted the city to look well, and I'll tell you what, if things went well, I hope that we, knock on.
I got this bid out there now.
Yeah, I'd love to see it happen again.
Yeah. What was your favorite guest? Did you have one guest that stood out, a celebrity guest?
At the restaurant?
Yeah.
Dan Patrick probably. Jenna was the most fun. She's just crazy and wild and was out there, and so she was the most fun to hang out with. But Dan Patrick came into the restaurant one night and wanted a reservation, and we took care of him. But I'm a sports junkie,
Sure.
so to get to meet kind of you're one of my idols, as I told you walking in here, that I used to watch you on the news growing up. So I think there are times, life experiences like that, where you get to run into somebody that you really looked up to. So Dan Patrick was a cool invite. I got to see Oh, a couple singers at a bar, like just randomly one night, a group got on stage, and it was just from me to you, watching a band show up that was a national prominent act, and so I was flat. I had my phone, and I was just, you know, flabbergasted watching that happen.
You're as starstruck as everybody else.
I was starstruck. I was starstruck all week. You walk by people all week on the street, and you just be like, did I just pass?
Yeah, I know. That's incredible downtown. We'll talk more about Scott Wise right after we come back. Talk about some of the items on his menu after this.